Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the game room. Right now I'm honored to be standing with the executive director, Miss Allen. How you doing, Miss Allen?
I'm doing wonderful, Malcolm. Just fine.
Yes, ma'am. Today we're going to talk about some history related to the African American Museum in Deland, right here where we are. So, Miss Allen, how long has this building been into existence?
For 23 years. It's founded in 1994 by Maxwell and Irene Johnson. In 1995, it opened its doors to the public. So it's been going on almost 23 years in existence here.
Yes, ma'am. And Miss Irene Johnson has some history herself. She was the first president of...
Yes, Mrs. Johnson was the first president of the National Council of Negro Women in Deltona. We had established, and that's when I first met her, we had established a chapter of the National Council of Negro Women, whom we know that Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune was the founder of that organization. We organized a chapter in Deltona, and we got people from all over West Volusia, from some people joined from Deland and from Sanford. So we had a conglomerate of different cities coming together to be a part of that chapter. And that is when I met Mrs. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
She was the first president of the National Council of Negro Women in the West Volusia section of this county.
Okay. So how long have you been the director of this museum?
Since 2008.
Since
Yes,
2008.
since 2008, yes.
And as we see on the wall today, you've seen a lot of beautiful art that has
Yes.
come through this museum. What are some of your favorite pieces that come to memory?
Well, you know, some of my favorite pieces are hanging now. I love the fabric. I love the design, the print. I love the colors,
Yes,
vibrant colors. So I love the fiber. I love the baskets. I love the print. Those are my favorite part of when I do exhibits, and I think about, you know, the fabric, how you can dress the fabric, dress it into the fabric. You can use it in photography. There's so many avenues that you can use fabric and textiles. So this particular exhibit that we have at the museum right now is titled African Fabrics and Textiles. And we have art from so many different countries in Africa, all the way from the tip of Africa to the the northern part of Africa. So we have lots of wonderful artifacts and culture, a lot of culture here.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why this museum is so important, because it touches our history,
Yes, ma'am.
not just our current history, it goes back to our ancient history. When we talk about Egypt and Ethiopia and all of those parts of Africa, we have a lot of history, rich history for us in America that we can reach back and pull from. We realize that we have a great history, great culture. We have a lot to be proud of. So,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's so important that this museum, the African American Museum of Deland, stays right here in the neighborhood where we can teach and prepare others about what we have done.
Yes, ma'am. That's well said. And speaking of that, Ms. Allen, how can we as a community help enhance, help be a part of this museum?
Okay, one of the biggest things that we can do is participate.
Yes, ma'am.
When we have our exhibits, we send out, to our members. We send out flyers. We publish it in the newspaper for the whole community. So we would appreciate very much if they see something in the paper to come out and participate. The majority of our events are free and open to the public. So when we have an event coming up, we ask the public, just come, share with us, be a part of it, because that helps us to grow. And also it helps us to get volunteers for the museum. We help us to get members for the museum. And that's something that any organization which such as a museum would benefit from having the community involved. And it just helps us to keep alive. You know, community is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
When it comes to organizations. So
Absolutely.
we just welcome the community. Come back, you know, to the museum. See what we have to offer. We have a summer camp for our kids. Free weeks, free summer camp. Exhibits. We have an exhibit every 8 weeks. We have a lecture every other month on ancient African history, on African American history, and on history of just our community, our things that are happening in our community. So we are loaded with knowledge, because remember what it says: knowledge is power.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So what separates this museum from other local museums in the area?
Okay, very good question. This museum is primarily devoted to African, African American, and Caribbean art.
Okay.
We're the only museum in this area that I know of, maybe within 5 counties, that focus primarily on those 3 areas. So when you come into this museum, you will see traditional art from Africa. You will see art hanging from African American artists. And then you will see art and artifacts from the Caribbean. We have it from Haiti, from Bermuda. We have it from Nassau. We have even art from Madagascar.
Wow.
Okay, so we have art from those 3 entities: African, African American, and Caribbean American art and culture.
Okay. Going back to support, I know you mentioned you would like the community to be more involved, to just come by, visit,
and see what we have here, and help us with ideas. Give us ideas on some of the things that they might want to see the museum do.
Yes, ma'am.
That would help us, because that would help focus us. We know what our primary focus is, you know, to exhibit, you know, different areas of art. But also we like to know what it is that the public would like for us to do for them. We have sent out surveys before. We didn't get really a real favorable response, but there's something that we have now on our online is a survey monkey that talks about, if you come to the museum, go online and fill out the survey monkey and tell us what you liked about the museum, what you didn't like about the museum, and suggest ways that we can improve so that we can invite more people to come in.
Okay.
So that would be a great benefit for the museum, because we would love to have our community. And then our community can go out and tell others, oh, have you been to our African American Museum? So it helps them to be proud of what's in their community and share it with others. And then, you know, the best form of publicity is word of mouth.
Absolutely.
So if they use the word of mouth and get us out there, then we would appreciate that, because it would make us grow. And we'll continue to grow. And that would just give us, I guess, more stability.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, to be here and to stay here. So that will be a great plus for us.
Okay. So speaking of, well, as you mentioned, support going online and coming here and being present. What about financial support? As we know, you know, our HBCUs and African American museums, they sometimes struggle, they often struggle being underfunded. So how can we support this museum financially? Okay.
Well, actually, that's true, because we are a 501c3 organization. So a lot of our funds we have to raise ourselves. We do get a couple of grants from the city, and then all the other monies that we get would be from fundraising. If we write other grants, you know, that can help pull in some resources, that's how we get our funds. The community can help by simply becoming a member.
Okay.
We have membership from ages up to 18. It's only, I think, membership is like $15. Senior citizen couple can join for $25. We have corporate membership, which is $200. We have a supported membership, which is $100. And then we have general membership for everyone, like yourself, $20. And then if you are a student in college, I think it's $15 for a student that's in college.
And for us to become a member, do we go online, or
you can go online? We have an application online where you can go online and fill it out right there online. We have a PayPal system. You can fill it out and pay for it right there online. And once we receive your membership, we'll send you a letter thanking you for your membership. We'll also send you a membership card with the date that you join and the date that you need to renew your membership. And that's a big plus for us, because membership is a big part of our finances, and that helps us to run the operation of the museum. So membership is crucial, you know, to us here. It's crucial because that's some money coming in to help us keep going, to operate on a daily basis.
Okay. I want to talk about an exhibit that you had last year. Last year, you had opportunity to have a historic person come through, which was one of the Florida highwaymen. Yes.
We had Al Black, who's one of the original highwaymen that came during our Noble Thurman Watts Jazz Fest.
I'm sorry, and for people who don't know who the highwaymen are, could you give a brief?
Well, my what I know about the Highwaymen, it was a group of African American artists, okay? And this was back in their 40s and up in the 50s. Group of African American artists. And as you know, during that time, it was very difficult for African Americans to really exhibit their art because of the segregation. Okay, and that's one of the reasons that Mrs. Johnson wanted to establish this museum, because she wanted our young people, especially those in our community, to learn about their rich history and culture, to help build their self-esteem, and also for those who may not be able to exhibit anywhere else, she wanted to make sure that this was a place where they could come to exhibit their artwork. So this is why this museum is so important, because you could be a brand new artist. You are welcome to come here to get your foot in the door to get you started on your way. And the good things also about the museum is that it's not just open to African American artists, it's open to non-African American artists as well, and it's open to children. So we have a vast, area of artists that can come through the museum. But the Highwaymen started back during that time, and there was nowhere for them to actually exhibit their work. So what the men did was, Highwaymen, they sold their art on the highway.
Wow.
They would have the art in the trunk of their cars, and they would take it out, and they would line it down the highway. And people began to stop and purchase their art.
Wow.
So that's why they're called, and as far as I know, the Highwaymen, because they sold it on the highway.
That is an amazing story.
It's an amazing story because, as I said, nobody else
is going to tell that story.
Would tell the story. No one else
right.
would give them an opportunity to go into a building such as a physical building to sell their art. And they became so famous from selling their art that way. And many of them today are deceased. But then you have a second generation of Highwaymen. And there's one woman, her name is A.J. Brown. Even though it says Highwaymen, there's one woman by the name of A.J. Brown. And she has a piece of her artwork that she hanging in the White House when President Obama and Michelle Obama was there. She had a piece of her art there. Now, Al Brown is an original Highwayman. And he has his art hanging in the Smithsonian Museum, the brand new African American Museum of Art and Culture in Washington, D.C.
That is a milestone.
Al Brown has his artwork.
Major milestone.
Yes, a major milestone for him. And so that's basically the story of the Highwaymen. And, and it goes on, there's more detail about them, but this is how they, part of how they got started. Selling their art, parking their cars, putting it out for people to buy. And that's why they got the name Highwaymen artists. And their art is absolutely fabulous.
And you had the opportunity to have his art here last year.
On October 15th of last year, we had Al Black, A.J. Brown, and there was one other artist by the name, I think his last name was Edward.
Okay.
3 of them came here. And the thing about them is when they come, you don't have to take any of this art down that's hanging, because they have the grids where they hang the art.
Okay.
And so people can come around and they can look at each artist, have different art all around. So you have 2 exhibits going. Because for us, their exhibit is a one-day showing, so it meant that they'll be here that one day from 10 in the morning to 7 at night, and they'll be here all day selling their art. And that way they have 2 art shows, the Highwaymen, and then you see the current one that's hanging. So that gives them an opportunity to see what we have as well.
Okay.
And that's how we get a lot of people coming back, because they come to different events and then they hear about us, or we send them an email. Once you sign the book, you become a guest. So we send out emails to all of those who sign our book. And so then that way, when they see something else here, that gives them an opportunity to come back to the museum again.
And I'm sure becoming a member, you can find out about people like Al and other amazing artists that come through and exhibit their art here.
Once you become a member, you get everything that happens here. You'll get a flyer, or you get an email to let you know this is what's happening at the African American Museum, and we welcome you to come back to see what else we have for the community. This is a great place to be.
Absolutely.
I look at this museum as a little gem that's hidden in the middle of our community.
Absolutely.
And people do not understand the value and what we have to offer. We have a historical research library back there going from the 1950s all the way up to current with information about Angela Davis and Maya Angelou, and we have an array of books by President Obama, you know, about his life and all of the literature that surrounds him. We have children books, over 300 children books that talks about children from around the world, that's open to our parents to bring their children in, pull-ups, a chair, sit on the floor, read to your kids about their own history and culture, read about other histories and cultures. So this is a place of knowledge, a place of knowledge. And so we just welcome the community to come in and outside the community to come in and see what we really have to offer. This is a great place to bring your family.
History Month coming up, but because this is something that we need to know every day. So thank you for being in the game room. We'll see you next time.